Hey there, fight fans, and welcome back to Takedown MMA. After a successful defense against Kamaru Usman at UFC 286, Leon Edwards will put it on the line against Colby Covington next, according to Dana White. But the MMA world isn't very happy about it. Why is that the case? Let's find out. Coward Colby Covington doesn't deserve title shot. After a year away from fighting, Colby Covington surprised MMA fans when he stepped on the scale and weighed as a backup for the welterweight title fight against Leon Edwards and Kamaru Usman at UFC 286, where Edwards won by a rather comfortable majority decision. In the post-fight press conference, Dana White was asked whether Covington will be the next in line for a title shot, and he responded positively. The UFC president's main argument was that Covington made weight as a backup. He deserves to fight for the title more than some of the other deserving contenders, like Belal Muhammad, Khamzat Chimaev, and Gilbert Burns.
Yeah, I don't know when we'll do it, but yeah, that's the fight that makes sense. And Colby came here and cut weight, you know, and did everything to be here for this fight. He deserves the fight.
So it's Leon Edwards, man.
Not to mention the fact that he's, you know, the second or third best guy in the world.
Edwards begs to differ because when he was asked the same question, the reigning champion said that Covington shouldn't be allowed to jump in the line after literally appearing out of nowhere, especially when there are more deserving contenders in the division.
I don't know how that makes sense, you know. You're the fought for over a year and a half, sat out, not injured. I just don't get how he just slides in for the world title shot when there's other guys in the division that's been active, been fighting.
Belal Muhammad has been fuming ever since Dana said that Covington will fight for the title next, and he has every reason to feel left out. Muhammad has won 8 of his last 9 fights, with 1 no contest against Leon Edwards. So he has unfinished business with the champion, but his body of work alone is more impressive than anyone else in the division, bar Rocky. In comparison, Covington has won only 2 out of his last 4 fights, with 2 losses against Kamaru Usman, who has 2 losses against Leon Edwards. Covington is coming off a win over Jorge Masvidal in his most recent fight, while Muhammad is coming off wins over Sean Bradley, Stephen Thompson, and Vincent Luque, all who are ranked above Game Breed. Veteran MMA journalist Damon Martin thinks Covington should have fought Muhammad at UFC 286 to earn his title shot. But Muhammad says Covington turned down a fight because he's a coward. Muhammad is surely upset, but he also has a theory as to why Covington is getting a title shot. He thinks that's because UFC allegedly asked him to drop the charges against Masvidal for his assault on him in March 2022. To make matters worse for Belal, Dana White revealed that he will be fighting rising contender Khamzat Rakhmonov next. It's a massive risk for Muhammad and probably a move to fast-track Rakhmonov to a title shot at the same time since he's fairly marketable. But Muhammad isn't getting any love from the UFC, that's for sure. The Palestinian-American does have the support of everyone on social media, however. Journalist Aaron Bronstetter put a poll on Twitter asking people about who they think deserves to fight for the title. The poll was closed to 25,000 votes, and Muhammad is leading the race by 51%, which proves that MMA fans are pretty educated when it comes to the fight game. But the UFC is going to do what they believe is best for their business, and maybe they don't think Muhammad is as profitable. Apart from Muhammad, Burns also deserves to fight for the title with a win against Jorge Masvidal at UFC 288. Khamzat Chimaev is in the mix as well, but for now he's going to try his luck at middleweight. After Covington allegedly refused to fight the Swedish Chechen Mauler, although Covington says he wasn't offered a fight, Chimaev's story is a little different.
Colby is lying, he doesn't want to fight. I swear with everything I have, I swear with the God, so I accept the fight 4 times. All the Muslims I understand, I swear with Quran. I get 4 times call, you want to fight? I say yes. I have conversation with Sean Shelby, I can show it as well, so we're gonna fight with this guy, but it's never happened.
The only reason Edwards vs Covington makes sense is because it will be a high level and competitive fight. But that's about it, because if we're talking about merit, Covington doesn't deserve a title shot since he has already failed twice in his attempt to capture the title. Giving new and deserving contenders a chance will always make more sense for those who follow the game on a regular basis. But since it's a business at the end of the day, there isn't much fans can do about it. We'd love to hear your thoughts on whether Colby Covington deserves a title shot or not. So let us know what you guys think in the comment section below. Dana White gives update on Khamzat Chimaev. After a horrible weight cut at welterweight in his most recent outing at UFC 279, Khamzat Chimaev has decided to move up to middleweight, which is good news for welterweights like Colby Covington, but bad news for the middleweight top 3, because that's who Boris is going to fight next, according to Dana White. In his 6 fights in UFC, Chimaev has fought thrice at welterweight, but he has found it increasingly hard to cut down to the 170-pound limit, which is why his coaches think a middleweight move suits him best. And if that's the way forward for him, he won't have to work too hard in the division, and is potentially one win away from fighting for the title.
Yeah, he'll fight a middleweight. And yes, I mean, he's in a position where he should be fighting, you know, top 3 guys in the world.
The middleweight top 3 consists of Israel Adesanya, Robert Whittaker, and Jared Cannonier, with Marvin Vettori sitting at number 4 and Paulo Costa at number 5. Regardless of which of the 5 gentlemen Chimaev gets to fight upon his return to the octagon, one thing is for sure, it's going to be a cracking fight. Justin Gaethje grills Michael Bisping for unprofessional commentary. Justin Gaethje believes Michael Bisping shouldn't have been anywhere near the commentary booth at UFC 286, beat Kamaru Usman to retain his welterweight title. Gaethje delivered a sensational performance against Rafael Fiziev in the co-main event, outstriking him and leaving him bruised and battered by the end of the 3rd round of their fight, which he won by a majority decision. Although he managed to leave with his head held high, his trading partner and good friend Usman failed to regain his title. Usman was in the fight throughout, and he even had his moments in striking and wrestling, but Edwards was simply the better fighter on the night and took home a comfortable majority decision. Gaethje saw a different fight, however. He thinks Usman won, but he also admitted that he's biased in favor of his friend, although not as biased as Michael Bisping in the commentary booth.
Yeah, I mean, I thought he won the fight, but I'm probably as biased as the judges. Certainly not as biased as Michael Bisping, who shouldn't have been nowhere near a microphone during that fight. Yeah, sucks.
Gaethje isn't the only person who thought Bisping's commentary was biased. A lot of Twitter users also complained about it, with one Twitter user going as far as saying that he's the most biased competitor in UFC history. The last time Bisping was accused of being biased in favor of Israel Adesanya in his middleweight title defense against Robert Whittaker at UFC 271. He didn't have nice things to say about his critics.
It was a close fight. And by the way, all you haters out there that are talking the judges agreed with everything what I said. So I'm not taking validation from that. Nor am I using this as an excuse to sit here and say I know it all, okay? I watched the fight very closely, very intently, but I will go away and watch it and see if I made any mistakes. Listen, if you hear bad reviews of your work, you want to look, you want to take it on board with an open mind. I want to get better, I want to learn and grow as a human being.
It's great that Bisping wants to learn and grow as a commentator, but this time around, he hasn't been accused by fans on the internet, but by an A-list UFC fighter, and it'll be interesting to see how he responds to it, if in case he chooses to. Do you think Michael Bisping is a biased commentator? Write us in the comments. That's it for today. If you liked our video, please subscribe to our channel and turn on the notifications so you stay up to date with all the latest happenings in the world of mixed martial arts. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.